2, and 1. Eventually.
Beautiful start.
I know, it's a wonderful start. It's going. One sec. All right. Hello and welcome. My name is LeBlue. I am the healer for the Overeasy raid team. With me today is Sylvanus. We will be doing a raid video log for the Overeasy morning raid team. Hopefully this is the first of many as we continue on through Siege of Orgrimmar and into the future, into the next World of Warcraft expansion. Sylvanus, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yep, like he said, Sylvanus actually come from the Ventrico server, but that's beside the point. Paladin, raid leader of Overeasy, formerly Red Eyes raid team. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Okay, so when Convert to Raid first started, the guild, I mean, not the actual podcast, but the guild, you saw this probably like several others, like I did and stuff. You saw the announcement and stuff. What made you want to make a raid team?
Well, first of all, want to thank CTR in general. All three guys are there, and that opportunity. But morning raid team kind of fits a different niche that many people need. Third shifters mainly, and people that are at school want to raid in the morning, get out of the way. But I mainly wanted to start it mainly because I wanted to do my times. When you raid lead, you set the times. You set when you raid. You set how fast you want to go. That kind of thing. We're going to talk about later. We started up in February with, we were actually Red Eyes raid team. We switched to Overeasy just because we didn't like the name Red Eyes apparently. A bunch of new raiders in our team. That's the best thing I think about Overeasy is that when in the beginning in February, and it's trickled on until now in September, that it's a bunch of new raiders, a bunch of people that haven't raided in past expansions, but some that are have raided as well, like me and LeBlue here. But like I said, some new raiders, and then we started out kind of slow progression. We only cleared MSV through with Will of the Emperors before TOT came out. As 5.2 came out, we were still clearing out Heart of Fear. We were trying to kill Toes. We eventually did. We didn't get into TOT until maybe 4 weeks in. We killed Genrock. Had a little trouble in Hordon, but it went well eventually. Getting farther and farther, and with like having people having to leave and people coming, we decided to actually change our mindset. Wouldn't you say, LeBlue, that we changed?
Yeah, definitely with us, especially because we are a morning raid group. That's probably the really big thing. Unlike most traditional groups, where a lot of people have a very easy time committing. Oh yeah, I can do 7 to 10, 7 to 11, whatever that time may be for whatever server time you go by. It's really rather easy to find a lot of people. When we wanted to do our heroic raiding, go from a normal mode raid group, like we want to clear normals because, as you said, we cleared Toes and Heart of Fear right after Tot.
Yeah.
But and then Tot we got into and we started going through and it's like we have a good shot of clearing this with a lot of time to spare, and we did. So we kind of you and I talked about it a little bit, and you were like, I want to do heroics, and it's like, all right, we can do heroics, but there's a mindset to it, and you've heard me say it a lot of times to you and to others, and we just had to kind of get into that, and we had some people who weren't as interested, and just it kind of the group evened out a little bit in that as we got more people who wanted it and people who couldn't, whether scheduling or whatever. And again, we'll kind of get into it later. We did add an extra day to our raid schedule for Siege because we really want to push with that. But it's definitely been an interesting thing to watch, going from a mindset of we're just going to kill normals and we're going to take it easy to we killed normals, we need to do heroics, let's get some progression done and really show what we're made of.
Yeah, I think a big thing that you told me when we started talking about that was that when we were casual, so to speak, and casual is not a bad thing, is what it is. Normal progression kind of was that you were just going through the mechanics. You were just killing the bosses, hoping to get clear it before the new patch came out. But me and you were talking. You brought it up that you get out of something what you put in. So if we wanted to switch this mindset, all the raiders, including myself as a raid leader, had to switch to that hard mode kind of raider mindset, as in I'm going to spend probably more time searching on the forums, doing stuff out of game than I actually am in game, because you need to be on the forums looking at stuff. You need to be looking at strats. You need to be investing more time into the game than you do with kind of that slow progression, just normal progression team, I think that made a big deal. Just putting in, you'll get out what you put in. Wouldn't you say?
Right, yeah, definitely. And like I said earlier, one of the hardest things with us being a morning group is, and this is more for the subs we get, because a lot of the subs we get are people who, they might be really good raiders, they just can't commit to our schedule we have because they just happen to have a day off, or they have this day off, but they can't raid the other days that we need them for. So that's been really hard finding people who are good enough at the game or are willing to improve to the point and maybe do that little extra bit of homework outside of raid to actually be really good as a raider and as a heroic raider as we go on to progress. And I know I'm definitely looking forward to Siege of Orgrimmar and seeing how far we get to this. I know I've done a little bit of heroic raiding myself. I don't remember if you do or not, but we have several members who this raid group is their very first time ever actually legitimately raiding, not just, oh, I got picked up for a pug. Like, this is their first time they're in an organized raid group. They have a time, place to be, and they have expectations. And then going beyond that, we also have several people who've never raided heroics before. And we went 4 of 13 last year, which
Yeah,
for a group that
413.
relatively newly formed and people who've never raided before, never done heroics before, that's absolutely impressive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would absolutely say. I think there's also, like you said, Blue. There's more new people that have never had these set raiders, these set raid teams, times to go to. Nine other people that I'm going to get to know 10 hours a week. Like they're going to be more than just players in the game. I think that's even something to add that they are now experiencing. Like our Maze Jurish, he always talks about how he's made friends through the raid team. Like him and Buff, Buff is our priest, and Josh, which is Doombeck, and our warlock. They've had this friendship that came just out of the raid team, and you can't. It's hard. I'm not saying you can't, but forming a raid team adds friendships and these kind of bonds that no other thing does. And I think that's something that new players and new raiders don't get to see a lot. But I guess that's going kind of past the point. So you mentioned Siege of Orgrimmar. You want to start talking about that?
Sure. Before we get into that, though, so this tier we kind of went in with a better base, if you will. We, as we said, we went into Tot barely finishing Toes and Heart of Fear. We finished Mogushan, what, 2 weeks before Tot dropped? So most of our gear was a little shaky. We're talking like LFR pieces, few normals, and even people rocking blues going into
Oh,
Tot.
it was so bad.
And this is, mind you, when Horadon was still god hard fight, like just make the crusher of groups. And council just been nerfed, and all kinds of stuff was going down. The beginning of Tot was a rough one. Add to that we were like maybe 495 eye level average ish, and I mean ish, and what we had there. Still a new raid team, very much in flux with who's coming with us and whatnot. So we're kind of getting that all together. But then you've got Siege, where most of us have been together since mid-tot at the very earliest, latest, whatever. There's a couple of us who've been here since the beginning. But now we've actually had time to farm, and we've done a couple weeks now. How do you think this has felt compared to Throne of Thunder when that first released?
Yeah, like you said, we're going into this thing with 530 plus eye level, other than your Mistweaver, but 530 plus eye level. Most people have legendaries. We're set. We're going into a tier with what you're supposed to have, with what it's actually undertuned for. So we're over geared for the first, I'd say, 6 bosses or so. But so we're hitting it hard. We're currently we're currently 10 out of 14, which is a pretty good time. The first week, so I guess 2 weeks ago, since the third week is starting today rather. First week we had a lot of troubles. It being the first patch. I mean, the first week of the patch, first few days, we had a lot of server resets. We're in the morning. We are the perfect time for them to reset. It's actually kind of pitiful. So we only have to raid 6 hours out of our actual 10 scheduled hours, which was really upsetting. Raiding maybe an hour a day, and that's also due to my classes. I had some messed up classes too.
Right, we
But
went from we used to raid from 5:30 Pacific time or server time if you're on Airy Peak, which is 8:30 my time, and then we used to raid till 11 Eastern, which is what, 8 Pacific or area peak server time.
7.
Or something like that. We went from that to pushing everything back an hour. Which meant I had to wake up earlier, and you could obviously get to your classes. We had a couple people. I think we actually lost a few because of the time change that couldn't simply do it. And then
Yep.
we've even recently, I think I missed it at some point. I might have been going to the bathroom. We added Saturdays as well. Like I said, to try to push more progression. Because how many hours are we rating? Like 7.5 hours basically each week. That's really hard. Even if it's 3 days, it's only 7.5 hours. That's hard to get some really good progression on. And now we are officially up to 10 days. Or 10 hours, not 10 days. 10 hours of progression a week.
Yeah. I think adding those extra 2.5 hours and having all this gear and being focused and knowing that we're able to push to heroics, hopefully within a month, after it comes out, we'll just see. But we have everything set up. It's just due to us having the mindset and having the knowledge to actually run through this stuff. I think it's a big motivation is us having this gear, having this times, adding that extra day adds a whole new day to progression. First 2 days is kind of clearing up. Hopefully on the first day we get to it, but first 2 days is clearing up to the progression rather, and the last 2 days will be progression itself. Now, to turn that on the flip side, when you start actually getting into progression, the first 2 days will be progression. The last two will not. Hopefully, if the heroic are linear, which it seems it is, but that's only due to like Blood Legion and that kind of thing. But those 4 days, it helps a lot because we used to do 3.
Oh, just lost audio. One sec. We just lost audio real quick. Yeah, I just lost audio. 1 second. Try talking. Are you talking right now? Oh, we're trying to... I just lost you. That's awesome. There we go. Are you back?
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm back.
Sorry about that. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't remember where we were, but whatever. Like I said, we were at 3 to 4 days. We were 3 days in the progression. Then the fourth day, it added either a progression or a farm day, which is what we needed. By the way, Sky. Okay, I don't know if my thing's just lagging, but whatever. Yeah. And also just mentioning Siege in general, the fights, awesome fights, loving it. First four pretty easy. After you get stressed down, it's pretty easy. Galacrest gave us a little issues, especially with Strat at the end. When you said,
which we're still fixing, by the way. We're still doing it wrong, apparently.
oh god, and we'll see. I mean, we try.
I just lose Skype again. Yeah, I think 1 sec. Here, I'm gonna hop in Mumble and silence Skype, and we'll do it that way.
Connected.
Because it's being really dumb. But I should still have video of you. No, I just lost you. Why is this being retarded? And LeVar, you can suck my nuts. Freaking hate you, LeVar. So much. All of my hate. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm in, so if we lose this one more time, we'll continue on from Mumble. If you want to hop in that really quickly, I would do that. Just silence it or mute me or something.
Okay.
Or, well, actually, I'm using push to talk for that because Skype is not agreeing with me. But okay, so the first several bosses we didn't have too much trouble with. Nourishing was a bit of a block for us shortly until we got the strategy kind of down packed and figured out what we all needed to do. And then the next one was Galacrast, which to this day we're still tuning the strategy for that since we're still not doing it exactly right. Something about two groups. I don't know. Just
Yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. I don't know. I guess we'll try that out and see if we don't all die except for me, like our first skill was. The
that
most epic
paladin
moment
bubble.
against
That
see.
paladin bubble.
Yeah.
So yeah, Iron Juggernaut wasn't too big a deal. We kind of just three-healed that, and that turned a lot easier than it was originally for us. Dark Shaman was our next big wall. What were your thoughts during that wonderful cluster of a fight?
Oh my God. Good God. I mean, there was just stuff everywhere. Most of the problems we had, it's weird because there's only like 6 mechanics in that entire fight. It's not, there's not like it's mechanic heavy. It's just every mechanic is heavy, so to speak. Um, the main thing we had a problem with was the Ashen Wall. Our tanks, which are morons, I still think to this day.
Including
That's
you.
including me. Um, I just don't know how Ashen Wall works. We didn't know. We didn't know where to put it, which way to face, and yeah, and just people being stupid. That's what every wipe just breaks down to, and it's most of the time it's me. It's trying to push that thing and trying to kill stuff, and you eventually just you get that last 20%, then you just freak out. You just drop the keyboard and just cry because you're freaking out. And that's I imagine that's what kills me a lot. But and then I would say after him, our next big one, which Blue wasn't actually there for the kill, was
Malkarak.
what's that guy's name?
Yeah, Malkarak. After we
Malcolm.
did
Yeah.
Nazgrim, which
Mal-
by the way, you ruined my attempt that I was meter padding the hell out of that with Gammon. You all failed
um,
on that, and I want to punch all of you for that because that was my time to shine with healing the crap out of Gammon for rankings and
like
logs.
y'all have no idea. Literally, like 80% of his healing went into Gammon. He was crying about Gammon the whole time. Gammon runs in there, blade storms, whatever he does, and just Blue was just healing the entire time. I had no idea what was going on. We didn't get much heals out from him other than
I
other than
did
what's his,
I did the combined healing of our entire group and then some onto Gammon. And I blame you guys giving him enough rage to do War Song because that shouldn't have happened. But
uh,
no War Song, so I had to heal.
okay.
Or well, actually, I'm using Push to Talk for that because Skype is not agreeing with me. But okay, so the first several bosses we didn't have too much trouble with. Nourishing was a bit of a block for us shortly until we got the strategy kind of down packed and figured out what we all needed to do. And then the next one was Galacrast, which to this day we're still tuning the strategy for that since we're still not doing it exactly right. Something about two groups. I don't know. Just
Yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. I don't know. I guess we'll try that out and see if we don't all die except for me, like our first skill was. The
that
most epic
paladin
moment
bubble.
against
That
see.
paladin bubble.
Yeah.
So yeah, Iron Juggernaut wasn't too big a deal. We kind of just three-healed that, and that turned a lot easier than it was originally for us. Dark Shaman was our next big wall. What were your thoughts during that wonderful cluster of a fight?
Oh my God. Good God. I mean, there was just stuff everywhere. Most of the problems we had, it's weird because there's only like 6 mechanics in that entire fight. It's not, there's not like it's mechanic heavy. It's just every mechanic is heavy, so to speak. Um, the main thing we had a problem with was the Ashen Wall. Our tanks, which are morons, I still think to this day.
Including
That's
you.
including me. Um, I just don't know how Ashen Wall works. We didn't know. We didn't know where to put it, which way to face, and yeah, and just people being stupid. That's what every wipe just breaks down to, and it's most of the time it's me. It's trying to push that thing and trying to kill stuff, and you eventually just you get that last 20%, then you just freak out. You just drop the keyboard and just cry because you're freaking out. And that's I imagine that's what kills me a lot. But and then I would say after him, our next big one, which Blue wasn't actually there for the kill, was
Malkarak.
what's that guy's name?
Yeah, Malkarak. After we
Malcolm.
did
Yeah.
Nazgrim, which
Mal-
by the way, you ruined my attempt that I was meter padding the hell out of that with Gammon. because this is the best video log ever. Try talking now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Awesome.
Okay.
But
Are we good?
yeah, we should be good. So Malkarok was the next stumbling stone for us, and that turned out to be more of oh look, there's a puddle. I'm normally not supposed to stand in these things, so I'm not going to, even though I'm supposed to.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was a matter of, hey, get in these guys or we die. But I'm at half health. Hey, I'd rather you die than us what? Use the battle res on you. But eventually we got it down, and we had probably 3 hours of total attempts on spoils, which is a lot longer than expected. I put that to mainly it was because, but they did their best, and it was just hard trying to push that extra DPS. But we killed it this week on Monday with 10 out of 14. Um, so yeah,
But
all in all, the last weeks have been pretty good. I feel good about it. 10 out of 14. We should be a little bit farther, but we had those little stumbling blocks who would not be able to come, or even 6 hours only of rating that first week as opposed to 10. I imagine tomorrow, since we're starting Christians new and with everybody there, we should be able to hit it hard.
all right, so how much you think we'll get this week? You think we'll get Thok and Black Fuse, or what? You thinking Paragons maybe?
Uh, My hope is that we get Paragons. I definitely don't think, I don't know, but I don't believe that we'll be able to kill Paragons. I surely hope so. But first we got to kill Thog. I believe with our raid comp that we're pretty set for Thog. I think with our 3 Pallies and a Mistweaver Monk, we'll be able to 2 heal it plus have a lot of silences. As long as people aren't stupid like they were on Malkarok, um, it shouldn't be an issue. And from what you've told me, Siege and what I've seen, Siege is just staying out of stuff, and hopefully the person on the conveyor belt can tend to their crap.
I
That's what
think
it
we're
seems
gonna
like
have a
to me.
very well-fed dinosaur by the time we kill it. Like he is gonna be stuffed and ready for turkey dinner for Thanksgiving dinner, if you understand what I'm saying. It's
Yes,
gonna be a
I think I
very happy dinosaur by the time we are done. Um, so we have that starting tomorrow. Hopefully we clear through the farm content quickly so that we get there. Are there any final words you'd like to say for the show?
um, I guess just wish us luck, and hopefully wishing you luck on these first now it's gonna be third week of Siege of Orgrimmar. Hope you're loving it just as much as we are, and hope you get just as many kills as we do, and you'll probably get more. That's it for me.
All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. I will upload this as soon as I can to the YouTube somewhere on the CTR forums once I decide that. I'll see about getting this also onto iTunes for certain people, i.e. Buff. You can follow me at, obviously, this channel, twitch.tv/DragonUser55. You can follow me at TheDucksmith on Twitter if you care about my incessant ramblings. If I ever do use the dumb thing, I'm trying to use it more. Sylvanas, where can people follow you?
Um, yeah, like I said, with Twitch, you can follow me at twitch.tv/Sylvanas_CTR. That's Sylvanas, Silvanis. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Sylvanas_CTR, which I probably tweet a lot more than he does, but if I tweet this a week, then I've tweeted more than he does. Um, so yeah, follow us there. Make sure you watch both of our streams,
Thanks so
Monday,
hard,
Wednesday,
dude.
Friday, and Saturday. What is that? 4:30 a.m. Pacific time till 7 a.m. Pacific time, I think, or
Yeah,
8 a.m. Pacific
it's
time.
yeah, or for real people time, it's 7:30 a.m. and then it's till what, 10 a.m. Eastern times. And
Yeah,
like you
something
said,
like
you can watch him for a prop paladin tanking point of view and myself for a Mistweaver monk point of view, which is where all of this footage is shot from, in case you were curious. But
that.
that's all for us, ladies and gents. Hope you have a good evening, and see y'all later.
All right, bye guys.